I have discovered that education is the best prevention against infection. Tip number 1, updates. I talk to more clients that say, I don't do updates. They scare me. I'm not sure which ones, I don't want to do them. Can you check? 25, 30 updates are sitting waiting to be. Every once in a while, if you're the kind of person that listens to the news, you will hear on the television or the radio that some infection has gone rampant and there's something going on. One of our people here told me that it's Kickstarter that got hacked today, just a little while ago. Just a little bit ago. What that means is that people who are connected to Kickstarter, their information is shared. That's what hacking does. These items on this list should always be updated. Not sometimes, not occasionally, every time. If it says Adobe, if it's part of your internet, that would be AOL, Internet Explorer, Firefox. A lot of people think their browser is Yahoo. Yahoo is a destination. The vehicle you get to Yahoo with is the icon you click on. So those are the browsers. If it says Java, this is the one that's kind of, everybody goes, what the heck is Java? Well, Java had a security hole last summer. And I was warning all of my clients, do not update Java. It was a rare occurrence because the update was actually had a security hole so big, it was better not to update till they fixed it. Took a month. Later they were able to update their Java and correct that security hole. But for the most part, you should update Java. Java is the portion of the internet that makes certain websites look a certain way. Anything that says Microsoft, that would be your Windows software, your Office software, all of it. Outlook, especially because it's connected to your email. If you have an antivirus product on your computer, Norton, any of them, they need to be updated. Now, antivirus and anti-malware software have two components. They have the program updates, and then they have something called a definitions update. Well, most people go, what's the difference between that? Well, the program is like any other program. It's better, it works better, it has more features when you update. The definitions. This is what the people work on at the facilities where these products are created. Every single hour, a new piece of malware is being created by some guy or some girl somewhere around the world. The definitions are being created because people send them the infections, and then they figure out what their patterns are. It's the same as a burglar. The police know what the patterns are for the burglars. They know what they look for in your house before they burglarize you. Well, it's the same. Antivirus and anti-malware software is using patterns of virus activity and malware activity to fight them. So you want to make sure those are updates. If you use remote login software, or if somebody else uses remote login software for you, if you want to update, you never know when that update's going to close a security hole or help you stay safe. Bottom line is, you don't have to know. It's just like your car. I don't want to know what happens when I turn the key. I want it to come on. Well, with updates, just do them. Trust me, you're going to be happier for it. This is the part of it that people get scared of. This is the Java update. You want to be careful when you update, because if you were to type into Google Java update, you're going to get this on the first 3 hits. The top one is shaded. I don't know if you can see that, but it says add related to Java update. It's not the Java company. It's a third-party vendor, and they are producing the update for you, and they'll allow you to download it. Guess what else you get? Something else you don't want. It may not be malware, but it could be something that I call junkware. It's stuff you don't need. It could be a game. it could be an add-on toolbar, you just don't need it. So when you're updating, make sure that the website says the same name as the update you're doing. Okay? With Windows updates, you don't have to worry. It's managed inside the control panel. With the other add-ons, you do. Adobe, Java, and one other are extremely popular with hackers, and they will figure out some way to get you to the wrong site. So this is the second step. This is the you part. When you see this screen, you want to read it. You don't want to just say yes. You want to read this. Because what happens here at the top is the name of the program that's been downloaded. Does it match what I was doing? It should say Java, Chrome, Microsoft. It should say something. In this case, it says Chrome install. In the case of Java, sorry, it doesn't say Java. It says JS something. JS update, JS updater. JS stands for JavaScript. It's the only one you have to remember. Okay? The publisher name should be a name there. If it says unknown, close that window, check your computer for malware, start all over. Do not do an update for those that I told you without a publisher in there because they're not right. There's something wrong with that picture. The rest of it is that it's an application and the from line is where you stored it on your computer. Then you would click run. Tip number 2. We did that just a bit ago. Read everything clearly. If you don't understand it, Google it, because Google will tell you what that means every single time. If it says something you don't understand and you Google it and you still don't understand, ask somebody. Ask somebody if you're supposed to do that. These are typical computer pop-ups that are in a normally running program. The one on the left is a mapping software that wants your location. Well, if you want the map to work, it has to be yes. This next one in the big yellow is the one I used for the example for updating and allow. You'll notice that it says publisher unknown. That's what happened to me. It said publisher unknown and I clicked yes anyway. So that would be one that I would say no, and then I would back up and start over. Remember door number 3? She would have been fine if she didn't open the door. This pop-up is the infection. A lot of people see these things, they look pretty, they look like they belong. This says, warning, you're infected. Let's do a full scan. You do that scan, you're even more infected. The one computer that I could not get the data off, it was because of an infection like this. He said, full scan. It did. It embedded itself so badly I couldn't get into the machine. This is also the infection. This one says, Home Antivirus 2010. There's one for every year. There's now Home Virus Antivirus 2014. Only this piece up here keeps getting prettier. Looks more like Windows. Be very, very careful. Microsoft products say Microsoft. They don't just say things generic. It's always very clear. This one is an infection. It's a scan tool for security, and it says, gee whiz, you have all this stuff going on. Be aware that the more it says you have, the more unlikely the number, chances are it's probably not real. That's important. It's probably not real. Have it checked in another way. If you get this one, I'm going to tell you, I had a client who got this 8 times. It says you have been illegally downloading software or on pornographic sites, and therefore you now have to pay the FBI $300 to unlock your computer. It is called ransomware. Many, many people fall for this and they make lots of money. There is no way to get into your computer. This is the only screen you see. Right. You have to have somebody look at your computer to get in and be on this screen. But I did not lose an ounce of this guy's data when he had
So
this.
this is something they downloaded and that hooked up, or?
Yeah, they were on the internet, they connected to a piece of malware. This is actually something called ransomware. It's got its own name now. And this is all it does. It looks like this. It collects money all day long.
You mean, but you actually would have to pay them because you think that they're.
You think, yeah, because
And so
you
you have
can't
to do it on
get it,
your
and then
credit
you
card.
pay them and they unlock it remotely, and that's scary because if they're promoting into your machine and unlocking it, what else do they have? And what happens is a couple of months down the road, you get that screen again. So they've already got you, and they went, well, you're one of those gullible ones. Let's try this again, and they get another $300 out of you. Fortunately for me, the client that I had called me, and we were able to get him back to his computer. It took a long time, but we got it back. If you get pop-ups on your screen and you want to close them without clicking on anything, you hold the Alt key down, it's in the lower corner, and you tap the key at the top of the screen that says F4. It will close the active screens in order. So if you have, I had 45 pop-ups on a screen once. I held the Alt key down and just tapped F4 45 times and they all closed. So that's a trick. You don't have to touch anything else. Any click of the mouse on some of those pop-ups, they used to infect the whole computer when it happens. So you want to be careful. Tip number 3. This is what I did. This is why I put it here. Never update quickly. As you're updating, make sure you're reading the screens you find that come up on the monitor. Make sure you know what they're saying. Make sure you're acting accordingly. Most updates, unfortunately, have little bonus programs. Tiny little toolbars, little helpers, all kinds of stuff. But every single one of these toolbars, not only are they unnecessary for operating the update, they're not a part of the update, it's a bonus, it gives the updater company money, they slow your computer down. Then you gotta call somebody like me to come clean it up and speed it up. This is an example, Adobe Reader, mainstream Adobe Reader. This is the update from Adobe, and it's got, you too can get McAfee Security Pet Scan Plus. Is it malware? No. Does it slow your computer down? Oh yeah, big time. I get calls. My computer is really, really slow. Okay, I get there and McAfee's installed. They've already got something else. It's not identified as malware because it's a security program. It's also a mainstream program, but it's not something you need. With Java, my friend Java here, you get 2 checkboxes. It wants to install Google Chrome. Well, that's all fine and good, but you can install Google Chrome on your own, so uncheck the box.